Welcome back, guys. Sean here with Blue Ridge Silverhound, and we have a pocket change market report, this time for pretty close to the last day of the month, August 30th, 2023. This is the midweek edition of everybody's favorite video. I know it is mine. I love talking about these coins that you could find out and change today. And if we have to consider that the things that the U.S. Mint does to produce coins for circulation is still, for the most part, a people-driven type of industry. People are involved, which adds that element of making mistakes, which is inescapable. And because of that, a lot of these coins end up getting circulated. Even today, we're in 2023, baby. We are beyond the halfway point of the year. We're coming up to the holidays here. And there are still a multitude of coins that you could find bearing the 2023 date. So the Mint director, Ventris Gibson, had proclaimed, you know what, we're going to scale back on some of these quality control issues. Primarily, take out the errors and things like that out of the equation. But, through it all, we're still seeing it. We're seeing it on the Edith Quarter. We're seeing it on the Lincoln cents. Some new die cracks are emerging out there. That extra V cent, among a few other things. I mean, it's really, really incredible. Just how prominent some of these coins are even today in 2023 in a world where we think that machinery dominates the world. It just simply is not the case. People still make it all work. So through my minute and a half diatribe, what I'm trying to say is a lot of these coins, ladies and gentlemen, are found in circulation. Go to the bank, grab yourself a few rolls, become a superstar. Another way that you can find some of these coins is simply just cherry picking at your local coin shop or show, right? Oftentimes, you could talk to any dealer, be candid with them. Do you search through these coins? And most of the time, the folks, especially the larger companies, they just don't have the time for that. They'll just say, yeah, knock your socks off, whatever floats your boat, So it's a pretty foregone conclusion that a lot of these are untouched, even through the dealer network. So keep that in mind. Same ground rules apply. We're going to be looking at about approximately the last 24 hours of sales on eBay. These are going to give you some perspective on what your coins are going to be valued at if you do come across them. The coins are not graded. We always talk about raw coins because that's the most efficient way to sell them and to make more net profit as a result. When you're out there going and grading these coins and spending $25, $30, $50 per coin, sometimes it's just not worth it because a lot of these sell for themselves. And then finally, all the images you're going to see here today are original to the seller's listings. We didn't juice or doctor any of them. So you're going to get all original in there. So we are loaded on Whatnot Auctions. We have we are juiced to the gills for the next few days, tonight included, where I am one and only shot am going to sell a local collection of 1940s and earlier Lincoln wheat cent rolls. Okay, I actually amassed a large hoard of them, about 6,000 or 7,000 of them. And I spent the better part of like 3 to 4 hours last night, or the other night rather, the night before, rolling these up for you. And what I also did was I pulled out all of the kind of like the damaged, the bent, corroded coins. So you're going to get some pretty nice quality circulated coins in there. They are unsearched for errors or varieties. And there are much more earlier dated coins than 1940s. So if that all interests you, I'm limited to only 43 rolls. I'm going to be selling them in 2-roll sets. And then once they're gone, they're going to be gone for a while because I don't feel like wrapping up more of these things. It's just a very cumbersome and overwhelming thing. But rest assured, we'll probably end up doing another auction sometime during the holiday season. But yeah, now's your chance. If you want to grab some truly unsearched rolls, again, these have never been touched by a dealer, and I simply just don't have the time to look through them. I just picked these up Monday, a few days ago. So I had just enough time to process them, take them out, take out all the damaged stuff, and then wrap them up. And then I have approximately $21 face value ready to go for tonight's auction. So be there. 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. I will have a link down below it's my referral link. If you sign up under me, you get $15 in usable credit. You might be able to pick up a few of these rolls with that money. We also have the NFL season kickoff, $1 singles night. That's going to be Thursday, August 31st. If you're into that and you're a sports card, collector of sorts, I will have a bunch of newer 2020 to 2023 NFL product, mostly all singles, no sealed wax or anything like that. Everything starts at $1, and then we're going to have some pretty big names in there from Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence and Brock Purdy's going to be in there, Kenny Pickett, you name it. We're going to have lots of singles available. Come check it out. Again, that's tomorrow, August 31st, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then finally, we have our normal scheduled weekly U.S. signature type coin auction. It's the final hot August nights. We're kicking August out the door, and we're, letting in September, the beginning, I guess, of the holiday season. And that's Friday, September 1st, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We have a lot of beautiful type coins. I think everything starts at $1 this Friday, so it might be your opportunity to jump in and pick up some high-quality coins for cheap. I mean cheap. I've actually given away a few coins here in the recent couple of weeks. Come check it out. So enough about that. Let's go ahead and jump into the coins here on eBay. Starting out with a really simple 1960 Lincoln Memorial cent. Features a relatively decent-sized curved clip on there. It's just one clip, and the coin has circulated a little bit, so, it's not a gemmy or anything like that. These are what I consider to be a great kind of like buy-it-now type coin. So if you're kind of wrapping your head about what types of coins you ought to auction compared to what you should just set in there as a buy-it-now listing, this is a great example of that. This person ended up selling theirs for $12.90 through a buy it now type listing. And, traditionally, if you ran a regular auction, you'd be lucky to get $2 or $3 for this. So, why not do a buy it now type listing, set your price that's not too terribly crazy. And, if people love it, or if they're looking for this for like a date set of clips, then, you'll have yourself a sale. And from the same seller, there was also a 1961, again, same deal, buy it now listing. This one sold for $11.97, buy it now. And the coin, a little bit circulated. I would say it's a low end, about uncirculated piece. Let's see, we also have a 1995 Lincoln Memorial cents. And this particular one is the well-known FS 101 doubled die obverse. It features some really strong doubling in both the word liberty and in the motto, "In God We Trust." So as you can see from these two close-ups from the seller, unmistakable. All right, this is something that even to this day is still worth some money, even though they were minted, through the gills. This is not a rare variety at all, and even for you folks there on the East Coast who see a lot of P-minted 95s, this is always going to be a good one to look out for, and quite equitable too at that. So this one sold for $39.99. The coin is in pretty nice shape. A nice solid kind of maybe choice or gem BU example. So kind of in that 64 to 65 range. Always a good one to look out for. All right, so this is one of the hot flavors of the month. I would say August, there was a lot of talk about this really strong die clash on the Edith Quarters. Okay, they bear the date of 2023, and you could only find them as of right now on Philadelphia minted coins. And you're going to see that strong clashing right on Washington's ear and hairline right there. This is actually for a full roll with an ender that features that clash. Not guaranteeing that the whole roll is Edith Kanaka Ole. It could be any type of coin mixture in there. But here's a little bit of a close-up. You have a few really strong letters in Edith's first name. That H is particularly strong in there. Ever since the article from Numismatic News came out, I believe it was Numismatic News, this coin right here has been on the radar of a lot of roll hunters lately. The strongest type of this variety, or error, rather, because it's a die clash, sells for hundreds of dollars. So this one right here, while really nice, is not the most strongest clash of this type. This particular one, though, still a surprising sale at $90. All right, and I believe that was the best offer accepted. I believe the seller was asking $100 for it, and ended up selling it for $90. So that seems like a wildly high amount of money, because it is. But keep in mind, it's also a very, very valuable chase piece for error collectors. Next one that we have here, boy, man, this thing is nuts. Hard to believe that this note had circulated for the longest time as it did before it was found. I mean, yeah, this thing was probably on its last legs in circulation. You know, it only takes us one bank employee, a teller, to recognize how raggedy this thing is, and they would have pulled it out. But if you notice, the overprint is inverted. It's printed upside down on the sheet. So all the serial numbers and the seal and even the series date, which is a 35E on the silver certificate, is all upside down, and in addition to the signatures, of course. So there's a little bit of the reverse right there, just showing how shoddy this one is. Even still, this one was organically bid up to a final value of $435.95 through 24 bids. Apparently for the 35E series silver cert, there's not too many inverted prints on this one. So really phenomenal piece, and again, showcasing primarily a raw note that was never graded. If you had graded this, you probably would have sold it for a little bit more, but not enough to justify it. Here's the next one here. Man, this thing is awfully subtle, and you know, it took a good solid 5 years before someone did find it. It's a 2018 P Cumberland Island Edith Quarter. I don't know if you can see the little red arrow, but this one has a pretty thin rim cut right there under DOL and dollar. Yeah, I mean, something as simple as that, you know, can earn you a few bucks in the process. This one ended up selling for $12. So, you know, it's not nothing. Worth, you know, easily 40 times face or more. Certainly worth taking out of circulation. And, of course, one of the bigger coins to look for in the Lincoln Cent series has to be the 1922 plain no mint mark Lincoln Cent with the strong reverse. So there's 4 different reverses that you can find for this one. This is by far the best one. I believe this is reverse number 3. In 1922, they only minted these in one facility, and that's in Denver. So a 1922D dated coin is normal. Okay, that's what it's supposed to be. So there were a number of examples that did escape from the mint that has no mint mark. All right, and that could be due to maybe a clogged die issue of some sort. There are 1922 weak Denver mint mark coins that are worth a little bit more than the regular 22Ds. But in any event, this one right here is the big dog. It's a big chase. It's always going to be an expensive coin to add to a set if you're putting together a Lincoln Cent set together. This one ended up selling for $472.95, 30 total bids. So there was a lot of activity here for what is probably more of a low-end 22 plain no mint mark. And they just don't get any cheaper than this. There's no such thing as, you know, $100 or $200 coin unless the thing is like corroded to the gills. And even still, you never know if it still has a Denver mint mark on there. This one is just very weakly struck, probably due to an overabundance of some grease on the dies, and you can see it on actually both sides of the coin. which is not something you see every day. Usually it's either on the reverse or it's on the obverse, but very rarely is on both sides. 1940S is the date. This one did circulate quite a bit, so no secret here that this one was overlooked by everyone. And this one ended up selling for $9.99. While it doesn't seem like a whole lot of money, that is 1,000 times face value. Wow, really nice crispy looking $100 bill here. This is a 1974 series Benji. Looks to have been found a long time ago. It looks crackling fresh, although, you know, as neat as these older notes are with the small head portraits are, they're still very, very, very available out there. Alright, so what we're looking at for on this note is actually going to be on the reverse, where we feature almost 100% front-to-back wet ink transfer. Okay, so how this happens is that the impression cylinder and the printing plates make contact without any subject sheet in there. It's kind of equivalent to a die clash on coins. So there's a ink impression of whatever plates are set up in there, whether they're the front or the back or, you know, the overprint, things like that. So the next sheet that gets fed in there with that inked impression cylinder is going to transfer that onto the back of that sheet, which is what we're seeing here. Now with wet ink transfers, obviously everything is going to be backwards or mirrored. That's how you know they're legitimate. And these are very collectible. So on this $100 bill right here, this is one that ended up selling for $328.95 with 23 bids. It's my understanding that wet ink transfers on both 50s and 100s are incredibly rare. We just don't see this that often. I believe this same seller had another one that they did sell. It's going to be later on in this video. The next coin that we have here is one that we've seen quite a few times. It's quite minor, but it is a 1989 Lincoln Memorial cent. It is off-center by a very small margin here, probably 5-6%. Nothing too crazy, but this is a date that we don't see come up too often with broad strikes or off-centers. This one sold for $18.11. I believe it was a buy it now listing. Coming up next, I mean, the coin that is worth money, 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 regardless of condition. I mean, look at this thing. It's not exactly a beauty queen here. And there's a fair amount of nicks and scratches and gashes. So, yeah, this is far from the perfect coin, but still, because of how valuable and how desired this particular variety is, people are looking to pick this thing up across all grade levels, and they pay handsomely for them. So this is the doubled die reverse, also called as the doubled Monticello. It's the FS 801 in the Cherry Picker's Guide, and I'm happy to say that even a coin with all of its warts like this one still ended up selling for $24.99. It's just you can't find these any cheaper than that value right there, unless the thing is like falling apart on you. But is it even worth having that coin? Yeah, you just never know. It's probably not cheap still. So always want to look out for. These are, again, on 1939 Jefferson nickels. There is another date with a similar type of doubled die on the reverse, and that's 1945P. Although that is a Silver War nickel, that is also another one that you guys need to be on the lookout for. We have more paper money. We have a 1963A $1 bill this time around. A little bit older note, and it looks quite normal when we look at the front of the bill. But when we look at the reverse, oh boy, is that a miscut? It can't be, because the front of the note is perfectly centered, both on the second and third print. So the sheet was slightly tilted or misaligned before the back print was applied to this note. Very dramatic, and you will only know that exists if and only if you flip the note over. And as a matter of fact, a quick little lesson: if you guys are going to be hunting through paper money, you should always look at each one of the 3 different prints on there. All right, so the back print is normally the first print in the process, so this is more than a shocker to me to see this happen. This one right here sold for $26 with 9 bids. Again, pretty nice one here. Here's another off-center struck coin, this time a Roosevelt dime. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a date, but that's okay. There are still folks that will still buy this up just to have an example. And they're going to be a little bit more affordable, too, because of the absence of a date. This one right here is off-center by about 55-60%, somewhere in that general area. And the coin is in really nice shape, probably a mid-state grade. This one right here ended up selling for $22.50 with 17 bids. Just think if it had a full date, it would probably sell for double that, because that's kind of the difference maker in the valuation of these things. And another good one right here, 1983P, Washington Quarter, always a great date. And this one's off-center by about 20-25%. Coin is in great shape too. No problems here, and you can still see quite a fair amount of mint luster. Keep in mind that the mint did not produce midsets for this date, so this was probably found very early on when these things were distributed into circulation. Hard to believe that that was 40 years ago. So this one right here sold for $123.45, and this was a buy it now hit. We don't normally see this particular date sell for that kind of money, but someone loved it enough that they were willing to go the extra mile. 1977 Jefferson nickel. This one's a Denver minted coin, so all you Denver folks out there on the West Coast, have no fear. There are coins like this that you can find. So this one has a pretty sizable rim, or not so much rim, but a cut die break. You can see that right there at the base of Jefferson's bust going into the mint mark. So a piece of the die had fallen off just through general wear and tear, and that, that happens. So this one right here is, looks like it's circulated a little bit. It does have a few carbon spots to note. And this one sold for $50.12 with 6 bids. Still a very healthy amount of cash, and it looks like this one was taken with a point-and-shoot camera, because it does have like the date and all that stuff right there. All right, so we have more currency. Here's another 1974 issue here. This is a $1 bill, and when you look at this one here, again, it looks just like a regular circulated one. Nothing too crazy other than the fact that there's a set of 3 4s kicking off the serial number, but that's not why this one's here. Again, excuse me, again, we have a full 100% front to back wet ink transfer. Wow, what a crazy $1 bill right here. This is one of the strongest ones I've seen, and collectors will pay up to have one that is 100% transfer, because you do, like that $100 bill that wasn't complete. I would say that was probably a 90%er. This one, a full transfer of the image from the front to the back, and again, it is mirrored. So this note right here ended up selling for $179.99. Pretty good, considering that a similarly graded note will sell for around that amount of money as well. So again, you don't need to grade these. They are a hot seller to the paper money era folks, and just go ahead and do it like that. Here's the variety that a lot of people had forgotten even existed, and it's understandable. There's been some crazy stuff that had released between 2018 and 2023. So in case you guys need a little proverbial jog of the memory, this is the 2018 Denver. It is probably the last really good variety that we've seen and attributed. This is the WDDO number 1. It's the doubled die obverse featuring the doubled earlobe, as you can see here. I had found at the time, close to a full roll's worth. I think there was probably like 52, 53 of them. And one person bought them all from me. And that was like one of the best scores I've had in the hobby. Just a really incredible piece right here. So I'm glad to say that 5 years later, these still have a little bit of value. You know, they weren't overly expensive 5 years ago, but even today, always a good find. This one sold for $16.25. Goodness. Very nice one here. So be on the lookout for this one. And there is also a similar double the die on 2019 Denver's as well. Man, this thing is so subtle. You know, a lot of people would cast this one off as possibly damaged, but it's a 1987 P. Jefferson nickel double struck. So that secondary strike is probably like 98% off center. That's how crazy it is. There's not a whole lot of the design on that secondary strike, all right, which, you know, kind of suppresses the value a little bit on something like this. But it did still sell for $18.84 with 8 bids. When they get to be this far double struck, you know, where it's like 90% or higher, there's just not nearly enough demand for them because of the lack of design devices on that secondary strike. So, wow, this thing is, I would say it's hot garbage, but the fact that it has this really big cut die break over the date kind of redeems this one a little bit. Now, if this one was in much better shape and it's not all mucked up like this one is, I would say it's probably a $100 coin. All right, but again, we have a lot what I suspect to be corrosion and rust and grease and various other things on this coin. You know, certainly will do a number to the secondary market value of it. So here's a little bit of a close-up in case you guys need a little refresher. This is a good one right here. And this one is sold for $20. All right, which is better than no $20 at all. You know, taking something like this that doesn't have the eye appeal anymore and turning it into a $20 bill, you know, which will essentially pay for lunch. I mean, you know, that's a trade that I personally would do. So if you do come across things like this, you might want to consider doing that. And it will still have some fringe, you know, interest in the market today. And 1988 Lincoln Memorial Sun. This was really cool. You know, in spite of what you may believe about the composition, which is a copper-coated zinc, this is a really wild double-struck error. All right, so that secondary strike is roughly 75% off center, and you do have a fair amount of design on there as well. The back is it's got a uniface with like maybe a little partial. I'm not gonna say that. It's just you see some of the design devices there, but because this was already a struck coin that was overlapping another planchet. All right. So this one right here sold for $52.56 with 13 bids. Truly marvelous find. Now this is something that obviously you're gonna have a hard time finding in pocket change, but coin shops and dealers, you know, I've seen a few of these sell for like $20-$30, and it's something that they prefer not to overprice them because they just want to move them. Because coin dealers are all about that transaction today and no later than tomorrow. So they'll price these to move them, and then as a buyer, you could add them to your collection or resell them. Now, this is something that you guys need to know exists out there, but folks are doing serial number matching. All right, so they're trying to find two notes that are similar or the same, and selling them as pairs, triplets, quads, however you want to do it. This is a pair of star notes. 2 different dates. We have a 2006 series $1 bill up top and a 2017 at the bottom. However, the serial numbers are the same. They're both star notes, and they have that. They're both J districts, and that's why they start with J. So this is really wild. The fact that this individual found 2 star notes, you know, even though they're different dates with the same serial numbers, you know, it's like that. Yeah, that's cool. That's the way to do it. So the seller ended up, I believe, selling this for $1,000. They did end the auction early because they sold it off the platform, which is just phenomenal. And these, by the way, are uncirculated notes, which helps out tremendously for a sale. And the same seller ended up moving another pair of matching serial number dollar bills within like 6 hours of this one. I think they sold theirs for like $8.50, or that pair for $8.50. So this is, wow, this is kind of like a new open door opportunity here for you guys who are deep into paper currency. You could spend all day online on eBay and various other sites just trying to do the match game. And if you could match up two star note serial numbers or two non-star serial numbers, you could actually do something here with these. And we've seen a fair amount of sales from these pairings. All right, well, we do have some extra V's. It was just, something that we knew we'd see in this video. So we have this one here, 2023 is the date on these Lincoln Shields. They have that little extra V there next to the initials. Everybody knows about this by now. So this one single coin sold for $45.95, but there was also another seller that were selling these in pairs, so you were getting two for the price of one. All right, and they're all legit. They're all the correct variety. As you guys know, Annex, NGC, and PCGS are grading these, so that's kind of where the big hot point with this one is. And always a great coin. I mean, there you go. There's an extra little V anomaly there. So when the graders are grading them, that's kind of where there's this like opportunity to cash in on these. Because we've seen mid-state 66 and 67 coins sell for upwards of like $500-600. So you would buy them online for $30, $40, $50. Send them off to any one of these graders. I'd probably recommend NGC the most due to cost. And when it comes back, just resell it, and that's how you do it. So the two coin lot that you see here, although I did just show one for this one, he sold two very similar coins, mid-state condition, for $65.25. So again, better bargain if you buy these in quantity, but if you need a single one, they're still in that $30 to $50 range. Now, nothing new. These have been around for a longest time. The 1935 base silver certificates, they did print a number of them with dual series dates on there. All right, so not rare. They exist. However, the ones that you want are going to be like gem fresh type condition. Like this one's pretty nice. I don't see much in the way of circulation wear, maybe a slight hint of a fold down the middle. But this was not a mistake. They did produce a good number of these, and people today, collectors-wise, are intrigued by them. All right, as well they should. Oh, sorry about that. So this note right here sold for $31.38, and people are selling these by single note lots, 2 notes, 3 notes, consecutives, things like that. There you go. I had already spoiled it, but this is our good old Inkwell contamination error on the 2013 $1 bill. If you look at the serial numbers, one's a little bit darker in color than the other. And that's just some of the black ink from the Inkwell for the corresponding black district seal leaching through into the green ink. And that's why it appears darker, if not black. I've seen some that are straight up black. So this one is still a little bit green. This one right here is sold for $65.24. Again, these are being found out there in circulation, and they're doing really well in the market today. Wow, what a powerhouse. 1982 Lincoln Memorial Cent, small date, Cud die break, and it's massive. This thing is huge. Normally we see Cuds on large date coppers. This is a 1982 small date, and it looks to be a Zinken from my eyes. Anyways, so this one right here sold for $93 with 10 bids. Have I said that Cuds are kings? Because they are. And these things sell really phenomenally. 1956 D over D RPM on this Lincoln wheat cent. What a great one, especially in mid-state condition. We've seen a few of these pop up in the market. There's a little close-up of the double D's, Menmark. This is the FS 501, I believe, in the Cherry Picker's Guide. Always a big one. And this one sold for $92.75 with 33 bids. So very active sale on this one. Always check some of those old timepieces. You come across a lot of cuds and laminations and, well, anything else. 1867 Shield Nickel. Check out that large cud die break there from K3 to K4. All right, so that's what that looks like. Very well circulated piece, and you just see a bunch of die cracks all over the place on this one. Not the prettiest example, but just recognize that these have some interest in the secondary market regardless of grade. This one sold for $45. So that's pretty phenomenal. At this grade level without the cud, this is probably a $20, $25 coin. Oh, coins of cards. They just had to throw out this one in there. 1937 D, three-legged buffalo, and this has got to be like AU 58 grade. This thing is huge. Only one of the most desirable varieties in type coins today. This one is just the picture-perfect looking piece with that disintegrating back leg along with that little raised, pitted P line area underneath the buffalo's stomach. A few of the diagnostics to look for, and this one sold for $1,313 and no cents. $1,313. There you go. 29 bids, by the way. Coins and Cards throws up these massive coins as strictly auction type pieces. And the final coin for the PCMR this week, our number 30 listing is this 1935 Lincoln Wheat Cent. Yeah, it's off center there, 10%. Good, nice early date, problem free. This is going to go into probably a date set. And just phenomenal. These older, obsolete coins with these type of errors are always going to be worth a lot more. This one sold for $83 with 40 bids. So, yeah, a pretty healthy sale there. Well, my friends, videos for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Collect and grade responsibly. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully this video gave you some inspiration to go out there and make it happen with your own cherry picks. And there's a lot to look out for there. We're just barely scratching the surface of what this hobby has to offer for a lot of folks like you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, check me out on all the major social medias from Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And that's going to go ahead and do it. So you guys go get them. Let me know what you guys find, and I shall see you guys next time. Take care.